Good afternoon. Welcome to DLA's 52nd Annual Employee Recognition Ceremony. My name is Kathy Rem from DLA Human Resources, your MC for today. We extend a special welcome to Lieutenant General Daryl K. Williams, United States Army Director of DLA, Mr. Michael Scott, Vice Director of DLA, Ms. Kristen French, Headquarters DLA Chief of Staff, Navy Command Master Chief Sean Bromstead, DLA Senior Enlisted Advisor, our award winners, their family members and friends, DLA senior leaders, special guests, and employees of DLA. Our program today will include a presentation of the colors from the Joint Service Color Guard in the Military District of Washington, playing of the National Anthem, invocation by Chaplain Colonel Robert Wishman, opening remarks by the DLA Director, and formal recognition of DLA civilian and military award recipients. Please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, presentation of the colors, playing of the National Anthem, and the invocation. Present the colors.
Halt! Present off! Shoulder on. Color turn on.
Let us pray. Almighty God, it is you that ordains and sustains leaders and grants us wisdom and strength. We invite and request your blessing upon this DLA award ceremony, heralding the accomplishments of individuals and teams that have indelibly etched their names upon the hallowed halls of DLA. We give thanks for the devotion and sacrifice of these leaders who are being recognized this afternoon. May the knowledge of their achievements inspire us to forge ahead in their experience and example. Now lead us in the ceremony, and may we ever be reminded of the service and sacrifice that comes in your calling. Continue to provide your gifts and graces to all who are obedient to your voice. We pray this in your mighty name. Amen.
Please be seated. We will now watch a brief video that highlights the excellence on display throughout our agency in 2019. DLA's ceremony, Lieutenant General Darrell Williams directs the Department of Defense's premier combat logistics support agency. The Defense Logistics Agency is responsible for providing a variety of logistics, acquisition, and technical services in peace and in war in support of the military services and other federal agencies. DLA's worldwide mission is performed by nearly 27,000 military and civilian logistics professionals. Please welcome Lieutenant General Darrell Williams, United States Army Director of the Defense Logistics Agency.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining us for, as Kathy said, the 52nd Annual Employee Recognition Ceremony. And so it's great to be here with this wonderful, what I like to say, indispensable DLA workforce. Whether you're here in person, and I want to let you know that we have lots of our comrades that are joining us on the World Wide Web as well. And so to everyone across DLA, welcome. And so for 58 years, dedicated men and women like you have supported our military through their important work here at this great agency. Our current DLA team continues to serve with true commitment and purpose, delivering effective and efficient logistics solutions for our war fighters and indeed our entire nation. And so when I consider the incredible support that you provide on a daily basis, and the amazing capability that this agency delivers for our nation, I come to work every single day excited to be your director. But the most important thing about DLA is its people. Now, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, and I'll probably say it 1,000 times more. The people are at the heart of everything that we do, and you are the secret sauce of this great organization. And so I want to thank you for a great 2019. We're going to recognize some of those accomplishments today. But I think it will go down in history as a banner year for this agency. And so working with the military services, many of our whole of government partners, I'm going to share with you just a few high-level accomplishments for the agency this past year. And so we provided $42 billion in goods and services. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, not an M, but a B, $42 billion. We increased our overall agency material availability for weapon systems from 87.8% to a little above 90%. We reduced our agency back orders by 14%. We reduced the number of weapon systems that were down for DLA parts in our military services by 28.5%. We reduced our material acquisition costs by reducing the cost recovery rate from 11.62% to 11.47%. We achieved #1 in small business for the Department of Defense in terms of percent of dollars spent to small business, $15 billion, 38% of our total sales. And so in one respect, these are all just numbers, right? But at the end of the day, these numbers translate to outcomes that we really care about and we talk about every single day. Our war fighters now have more equipment and weapon systems that are in the fight to execute their missions, largely because of the work that you do. That's a phenomenal achievement, and it took everybody in this room and across this agency to help us accomplish that. And so before we recognize a few teammates today, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of you, the DLA workforce, for our success in 2019 and for what you do each and every day to make these successes possible. I would ask you to give yourselves a round of applause. Round of applause, thank you. And so to Mr. Scott, our Vice Director, to Command Master Chief Bromstad, our Senior Enlisted Leader, to all of our civilian and military executives that are in the audience today and those who were not able to make it, to our MSC commanders, to all of our staff directors, to our employees who we'll be recognizing today on the stage, and the thousands of other employees that they represent, and to our DLA team members, wherever you might be serving in this great agency, here in the United States or somewhere around the globe, the sun never sets on DLA. And so again, welcome and thank you. I'm going to say thank you to Ms. Rem. So I've been doing this is my 3rd year, and I think you've done it every year, and I think she gets better and better each time. Give her a round of applause, please. Outstanding. And to the chaplain, thank you for those always inspiring remarks. And I'd also like to thank that very sharp Military District of Washington Joint Color Guard. Phenomenal. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. And then certainly not last but not least, Mr. Brad Bunn and the great J1 team, especially to Mr. Larry Lillard for organizing this great event. Where are you, Larry? I know he's lurking out there somewhere, probably putting some fine details. We just want to give him a round of applause. Thank you for doing a great job. Okay, so I'm always honored, like I said, this is my 3rd one, to participate in this particular event each year, which recognizes the extraordinary efforts and contributions of our phenomenal DLA workforce. With more than 26,000 employees located across the globe, it's a challenge to get out and visit all of our locations. But I can tell you that our senior leader sure tries to do so. And so Command Master Chief Bromstad and I alone have logged thousands of miles against this year, and we even made it out to Djibouti. One thing that remains constant, and it doesn't matter where we go, and that's the strong commitment of our employees to providing unparalleled support in support of our customers. And so there are many, many shining examples that I could talk to about that commitment. And I'm just going to highlight just a few, and they fall in the team category because they represent a cross-section of this great agency. And so I'll start with the mighty agency synchronization and operations center team. Can I get a hooah from you if you're in the audience? Boy, that's pretty weak. You know, I'm trying to highlight you guys, and I can't even get a good hooah. All right, so let's try that one. The Synchronization and Operations Center team. I love it. And so they contributed to the disaster relief for Hurricanes Florence and Michael, provided firefighter support during a very busy wildfire season, and supported U.S. Customs and Border Patrol missions. Now, while these things happened as a cross-section of between June of 2018 to May of 2018. Nonetheless, as we transitioned from a Joint Logistics Operations Center to an ASOC, they supported some phenomenal events. And so normally, we like to practice things like this as part of exercises. But this team was able to take the agency and support it during real-world events. And then I'd like to mention the F-35 Sustainment Integration Team as just another example. This team has done a great job of developing and validating processes establishing direct supply chain support for the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. Their efforts will leverage DLA's global supply chain capability to improve F-35 readiness for the Department of Defense as they partner with the United States Transportation Command to be the Department of Defense supply chain supporter for the F-35 program. And then nothing would be complete in terms of a total team effort without talking about our Cash and Obligation Authority Working Group, which truly involved the entire agency. And so when DLA was challenged with low cash balance and a dwindling obligation authority last summer and fall, they helped us to analyze and articulate the business impact of our agency and what it does, not just to the Department of Defense, but it echoed all the way to Congress. Their work was absolutely critical in helping DLA to successfully give expression to the complex relationship between our obligation authority and our cash position, and how the health of our defense-wide worldwide working capital fund impacts the military readiness of the services. And so I could easily go on, and we'd be here all afternoon, but we're really here to recognize our great employees. Needless to say, that is the spirit of cooperation that exudes throughout this great agency. And so to our awardees, I want you to know that we appreciate the positive impact that you've made on the department and on this great organization. You inspire all of us by your example and by your hard work. I'd also like to thank the supervisors in the room and on the web that that promoted these great employees and submitted packets so that they could be duly recognized. And while today is about recognizing excellence, I'm reminded by the words of Dr. Jonas Salk, who said, "The reward for hard work or work done well is the opportunity to do more." That means that we cannot rest on our laurels, we can't get satisfied, and we will definitely meet the challenges in the coming year. I'd like to conclude by wishing you all the happiest of holidays. And so my wife Myra and I want to extend our best wishes to you and to your loved ones. And we hope that your celebrations are full of love, laughter, and a great deal of cheer. And I can't let you go without promoting just a few events that are coming up in FY20 that I'd like you to be aware of. And so the first one is the DLA Ball, which takes place on the 24th of April. And so what's different about this year's ball is that it's open to the entire workforce. And so get your tickets, and I look forward to seeing all 26,000 of you there. The second one is the combined federal campaign. This season of giving is a perfect time to contribute to this very meaningful cause, which takes care of our troops and families across the Department of Defense. And so the third that I'd like to bring your attention to is the 2020 Culture Climate Survey coming up in March. This is your chance to be heard, and I'd like to see 100% participation across the agency. And so finally, and as we approach the holiday season, please remember all of those soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and civilians who are deployed into harm's way, and please keep their family members in your prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to be your director and to lead such an incredible organization. You should be sure, you can be sure, that I, in particular, am grateful for all you do and all of the tremendous work that you do each and every day. May God bless you and your families during this special season. May He bless this great agency, and may God continue to richly bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would you and Command Master Chief Brumstead please take center stage for the presentations? We're gathered this afternoon to recognize DLA team members who exemplify the standard of excellence set by this agency. These employees and military members have demonstrated leadership, hard work, and a sense of commitment in support of DLA's mission and our nation's warfighters. As dedicated professionals, they continuously strive to improve their performance with a focus and strong commitment to the DLA mission. We're proud of their accomplishments, and today we take the time to publicly thank them and to express our appreciation for their outstanding achievements. The first category of awards is the Outstanding DLA Personnel of the Year Awards. These awards recognize deserving civilian and military personnel who have consistently exceeded the expectations of their positions. Individuals nominated for this award have also been acknowledged by their peers as model performers. From a pool of 36 individual nominations, we're pleased to honor DLA's Outstanding Personnel of the Year. Mr. Michael Scott, DLA Vice Director, will also be participating in the presentation of the Outstanding DLA of the Year Awards. So, Mr. Scott, if you would please join the official party on stage. The first recipient is Army Staff Sergeant Sirlin Ariatza, DLA Logistics Operations. Staff Sergeant Sirlin Ariatza distinguished herself through outstanding achievement as Joint Operational Contract Support Non-Commissioned Officer. Her superb leadership and expertise were instrumental in meeting warfighter requirements for planning, training, exercises, and real-world operations across the globe. Her extensive knowledge of operational contract support was on full display during DoD operations along the southwestern U.S. border, the U.S. Forces Korea Exercise 19-1, U.S. Northern Command Exercise Ardent Sentry, and the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Exercise Pacific Sentry. Army Staff Sergeant Sirlin Ariatza. Jeremy Beckwith, DLA Distribution, Corpus Christi, Texas. Mr. Jeremy Beckwith is a remarkable leader who lives his command's philosophy: be technically competent, be value-added, and have fun doing it. He empowers leaders to ensure mission accomplishment and pushes his team to broaden their professional horizons through continual education and rotational assignments. He challenges his workforce to think creatively and provides sound guidance, mentorship, and support. Mr. Jeremy Beckwith. Army Sergeant First Class Leticia Kenita Harris, DLA Logistics Operations. Sergeant First Class Leticia Kenita Harris distinguished herself through outstanding achievement as Joint Operational Contract Support Non-Commissioned Officer. Her superb leadership and expertise were instrumental in meeting warfighter requirements for planning, training, exercises, and real-world operations across the globe. Her extensive and comprehensive knowledge of operational contract support significantly improved the readiness of European Command, which was validated during support to Operational Contract Support Rapid Enhancement Initiative. Sergeant First Class Leticia M. Kenita Harris. Robert Fagan, Jr., DLA Troop Support. Mr. Robert Fagan's extraordinary efforts resulted in significant savings to the U.S. government. Recognizing that indoor flags were being produced using rayon from an overseas source, he took the initiative to develop an alternative fabric source. Through extensive market research, he identified a domestic source and worked with the Army Institute of Heraldry on specifications. His efforts will result in savings estimated at over $1.3 million per year. Mr. Robert Fagan. John Lehman, DLA Land and Maritime. Mr. John Lehman displayed exceptional service as a contract price cost analyst at DLA Land Warren. He worked hard to provide every pricing action assigned to him the utmost scrutiny, ensuring the federal government was getting the best possible price while obtaining repair parts critical to supporting the warfighter, securing negotiated savings in excess of $31 million. Mr. Lehman's commitment to excellence and dedication to duty reflect great credit. Mr. John Lehman. Natalia Lee, DLA Finance, and Emily Vogler, DLA Logistics Operations. Ms. Natalia Lee and Ms. Emily Vogler are being recognized together today for their partnership, superior performance, and thorough understanding of the agency and its financial operations. They were each instrumental in crafting DLA's cash management plan, optimizing results for the warfighter, and the production of the first ever daily cash projection methods. They successfully prepared agency senior leaders for engagements with members of Congress, the Deputy Secretary of Defense, the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Sustainment, the OSD Comptroller, the military services, and other federal customers. Ms. Natalia Lee and Ms. Emily Vogler.
Well done. One more round of applause.
Air Force Technical Sergeant Linnell McLeod, DLA Energy. Technical Sergeant Linnell McLeod distinguished himself by exceptional warfighter and whole-of-government support as a DLA Energy Quality Assurance Representative. He expertly focused the Defense Fuel Support Point Tampa team on distribution and quality management of a $2.7 million fuel depot contract supporting warfighter and interagency missions. In addition, he managed quality surveillance of 39 million gallons of fuel and provided supply chain support to customers across 5 combatant commands. Technical Sergeant Linnell McLeod. Navy Lieutenant Tyler Smith. Lieutenant Smith is not here today, so Brigadier General David Sanford, DLA Aviation Commander, is going to accept on his behalf. Lieutenant Tyler Smith demonstrated sustained superior leadership while directing an action-oriented Naval Aviation Enterprise Steering Committee, which significantly improved aircraft armament equipment for the FA-18 and H-60 platforms. His unwavering alignment to warfighter needs resulted in a 38% reduction in material delays and the quick delivery of 5 readiness-driven contracts valued at $5.5 million. Navy Lieutenant Tyler Smith. Sir, you can stay. Rose Thomas, DLA Aviation. Ms. Thomas also is not here today. Mr. Joseph Jinks will accept on her behalf. Ms. Rose Thomas provided exceptional support to the 402nd Electronics Maintenance Group at Warner Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. Her meticulous input of over 48,000 transactions into the distribution storage system and her accountability and physical control of over $204 million in repairable assets during the award period directly impacted mission success. Ms. Rose Thomas. Guillermo Urea, DLA Distribution. Mr. Urea also couldn't be here today. DLA Distribution Commander Rear Admiral Jones will accept on his behalf. Mr. Guillermo Urea was the top employee in the DLA Distribution Consolidation and Containerization Point. His exceptional work contributed to many successes, including expertly processing 1.8 million transactions and outperforming the distribution center's key performance metrics for percent on time and average days for the past 2 years. Mr. Guillermo Urea. This concludes the presentation of DLA's Outstanding Personnel of the Year Awards. We now turn to the DLA Leader of the Year Awards. These awards recognize DLA leaders from every segment of the workforce whose outstanding accomplishments and commitment to leadership merit special recognition. Leader of the Year Awards recognize outstanding performance in the DLA leader competencies. 4 DLA Leader of the Year Awards are being presented today. Mr. Brad Bunn, Director of DLA Human Resources, will also be participating in the presentation of this series of awards. The Level 1 Non-Supervisory Employees Leader of the Year Award recipient is Daniel Straussbaugh, DLA Logistics Operations. Mr. Daniel Straussbaugh led the newly developed whole-of-government National Response Coordination Center deployment team through several contingency events during the historic 2018 hurricane season, partnering with an expansive set of critical DLA customers, including 10 federal agencies, 6 states, and multiple localities. He ensured delivery of much-needed supplies and services to people in need. Mr. Daniel Straussbaugh. The Level 2 team leaders, and project leaders. Leader of the Year Award recipient is Monica Whiting, DLA Land and Maritime. Ms. Monica Whiting is recognized for her performance with the Land Supplier Operations Large Purchase Acquisition Team. She honed the skills of her team and fellow contracting employees by developing weekly group training sessions as well as daily one-on-one sessions for 1102 series personnel. By identifying the right techniques and tools needed for everyone to succeed, she trained more than 30 buyers. She also negotiated a critical support contract for the Army's Rapidly in Place Bridge System, valued at $1.6 million. Ms. Monica Whiting. The Level 3 New Civilian Supervisors Leader of the Year recipient is Bruce Jones, DLA Energy. Mr. Bruce Jones demonstrated exceptional leadership qualities as Deputy Director, DLA Energy Middle East. He guided a geographically dispersed team of 46 civilian and 10 military personnel in the management of 76 locations in support of Operations Inherent Resolve, Sentinel Freedom, and countless U.S. Central Command multilateral exercises. His exemplary performance during this award period stands as the DLA benchmark for those who follow in his footsteps. Mr. Bruce Jones.
Picture there.
Thanks, sir, for letting me get a breather. The Level 4 Experienced Leaders, Managers, and Supervisors. Leader of the Year recipient is Bruce Blank, DLA Energy. During the period of this award, Mr. Bruce Blank was selected twice from a field of 18 GS-15 peers to serve in the critical leadership position as the Deputy Commander of DLA Energy. He took on the Herculean task of planning and executing one of the most successful energy conferences DLA Energy has ever hosted, the 2019 DLA Energy Worldwide Energy Conference, which attracted more than 2,000 stakeholders and provided a unique forum for industry experts, government officials, and Department of Defense and military senior leaders. He also served as the Deputy Commander during the 2018 hurricane season, when 2 storms ravaged the East Coast of the United States. Mr. Bruce Blank. This concludes the presentation of the DLA Leader of the Year Awards. Our next award category is the annual DLA Employee of the Quarter recognition. This award was established to provide agency-wide recognition to 3 civilian employees from the quarterly DLA competition whose exemplary performance, humanitarian service, or teamwork merited further recognition. The DLA Employee of the Quarter annual recipient for Category A, Civilian Grades 1 through 6, is Ray Leskowski, DLA Distribution. Mr. Leskowski couldn't be here today. Rear Admiral Jones, DLA Distribution Commander, will accept on his behalf. Mr. Ray Leskowski was instrumental in outloading more than 1 million cubic feet of cargo, exceeding 7,000 metric tons, in support of more than 4,000 DoD account activity codes, 12 break bulk points, and 4 theater consolidation and shipping points. He outperformed all metrics in his area by 25%. It was instrumental in the outbound shipments of more than 1,000 containers to warfighters throughout the Pacific Theater. Mr. Ray Leskowski. The DLA Employee of the Quarter annual recipient for Category B, Civilian Grades 7 through 12, is Patrick Draper, DLA Energy. Mr. Patrick Draper excelled as customer account specialist in the DLA Energy Middle East office in Bahrain. When the office experienced multiple challenges in Iraq that threatened DLA's ongoing fuel support to the region, he worked tirelessly with the contracting office to develop possible solutions. He also placed 118 customers' fuel orders for his assigned countries for more than 15.9 million gallons of fuel and completed 336 acceptances for 4.2 million gallons of fuel, worth $15.8 million. Mr. Patrick Draper. The DLA Employee of the Quarter annual recipient for Category C, civilian grades 13 through 15, is Lori Barnhill, DLA Information Operations. Ms. Lori Barnhill distinguished herself as the Supervisory Program Manager with DLA Information Operations. She set high standards for her team by sharing PM lifecycle expectations, establishing a weekly in-processing review, and holding each PM accountable for delivering world-class IT support. As PM for both the Joint Chiefs of Staff Report on Emergency Petroleum, Oil, and Lubricants Program and the Integrated Consumable Item Support Program, she delivered the exceptionally professional presentation that netted an additional $600,000 for plan implementation. Ms. Lori Barnhill. We will now present the DLA Team Performance Awards. Team Performance Awards recognize teams within DLA that have improved organizational performance by using structured improvement methods or have advanced the principles of teamwork. Nominations were divided by small, medium, and large teams with one award recipient from each category. In the category of small team, consisting of 25 members or less, the award goes to the Cash and Obligation Authority team, with team members from DLA Finance and DLA Logistics Operations. Mr. Timothy Moorfield is accepting on behalf of the team. The Cash and Obligation Authority Working Group has been central to DLA's effort to balance requirements and generate cash and obligation authority in a fiscally restrained environment. As agency leaders dealt with fallout of a low cash balance and dwindling obligation authority, this cross-enterprise team was the primary source for analysis, modeling, and articulation of the agency's business impact. Their tireless efforts foster dialogue between agency and DoD leaders up to the Deputy Secretary of Defense. The Cash and Obligation Authority Working Group. In the category of medium team, consisting of 26 to 50 members, the winner is the F-35 Sustainment Integration Team, with team members from Chief of Staff Business Management Office, DLA Disposition Services, Distribution, Finance, Information Operations, and Logistics Operations. Team lead, Navy Captain Jeffrey Davis from DLA Logistics Operations, is accepting on behalf of the team. The F-35 Integration Sustainment Team effectively leveraged performance-based strategic capabilities and unique weapons systems sustainment solutions to focus the expertise resident across DLA on requirements that enhanced F-35 lethality today and in the future. Maintaining a warfighter-first mindset with a focus on strong partnerships, this team developed interagency opportunities, partnering with our allies and industry, ensuring warfighter readiness. The F-35 Sustainment Integration Team. In the category of large team, consisting of 51 to 125 members, the award goes to the Synchronization Operations Center, with team members from DLA Acquisition, Aviation, Disposition Services, Distribution, Energy, Finance, Human Resources, Information Operations, Land and Maritime, Logistics Operations, and Troop Support. The Center's Director, Army Colonel Carl Mason, is accepting on behalf of this team. DLA team members enterprise-wide significantly contributed to the military and interagency response to a devastating tropical hurricane, a demanding wildfire season, and ongoing requirements in the southwestern U.S. border missions. one of the most challenging operational years of defense civil support of civil authorities on record. Their teamwork, competence, and grit ensured life-saving and life-sustaining supplies reached American citizens in the hardest-hit areas. The Synchronization Operations Center team. This concludes the Team Performance Awards. We'll now honor our military workforce for the superb contributions our military members make to the agency. The Service Member of the Year awards recognize the Field Grade Officer, Company Grade Officer, Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, and Junior Non-Commissioned Officer, whose performance distinguished them from their peers through their contributions to the DLA mission. The Field Grade Officer of the Year is Air Force Major Charles Morton III from DLA Energy. Major Charles Morton displayed exceptional leadership and commitment to duty as the Operations Officer for DLA Energy Americas East. He executed critical operational requirements in support of DLA Energy's largest supply chain, consisting of 37 states from the Rocky Mountains to the East Coast, as well as locations in the Caribbean and Central America. Major Charles Morton. The Company Grade Officer of the Year is Air Force Captain Adrian Butenhoff, DLA Aviation. Captain Adrienne Butenhoff is recognized for her integrity, commitment to the mission, and thirst for knowledge in her roles as a career-broadening officer with DLA Aviation, where her critical contributions to the core aviation mission directly impacted warfighter readiness. She is dedicated to exceeding requirements while providing the best possible support to the organization, superiors, subordinates, and peers alike. Captain Adrienne Butenhoff. The Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year is Air Force Master Sergeant Desi Rodriguez, DLA Land and Maritime. Master Sergeant Desi Rodriguez provided critical support to the Deployment Support Team Kuwait as a material planner and operations superintendent. She quickly learned and adapted in highly demanding and dynamic environments. Her leadership and can-do attitude made an immediate impact on improving partnerships with demand planners, product specialists, and customer account specialists, while increasing support for DLA customers and warfighters. Air Force Master Sergeant Desi Rodriguez. The Junior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year is Air Force Staff Sergeant Sabrina Cayetano.
Air Force got it.
Staff Sergeant Sabrina Cayetano demonstrated exceptional technical ability as non-commissioned officer in charge of the Military Personnel Office for DLA Aviation. She managed all personnel programs, providing critical customer service to both active duty and reserve joint service personnel. She improved customer support to DLA Aviation military personnel, enhancing warfighter readiness. Her outstanding performance is a shining example of excellence in leadership. Air Force Staff Sergeant Sabrina Cayetano. We will now recognize personnel in the DLA Joint Reserve Force. Navy Rear Admiral Grafton Chase, Director of the DLA Joint Reserve Force, will participate in the presentation of the next 4 awards. The DLA Joint Reserve Force Field Grade Officer of the Year is Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonel Sloan Struess from DLA Energy. Colonel Struess could not be here today, so Brigadier General Albert Miller, DLA Energy Commander, will accept on his behalf. Lieutenant Colonel Sloan Struess distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious service as the Petroleum Liaison Officer to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Headquarters, U.S. Forces Afghanistan, and to the U.S. Embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan. He was key in coordinating uninterrupted fuel distribution in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel for the U.S. Central Command, ensuring delivery of approximately 200 million gallons of fuel valued at $570 million. Lieutenant Colonel Sloan Struess. The DLA Joint Reserve Force Company Grade Officer of the Year is Air Force Reserve Captain Kellen Curry, DLA Energy. Captain Curry could not be here today, and General Miller is also accepting on his behalf. Captain Kellen Curry distinguished himself as the DLA Training Administrative Officer, Joint Reserve Force, and Energy Deputy Division Chief, Ground Fuels. While deployed with the U.S. Central Command, he authored the Afghanistan and Iraq contractor vetting compliance process, verifying 39 contracts worth $50 million, while preventing the illicit funding of terror operations. Captain Kellen Curry. The DLA Joint Reserve Force Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year is Navy Reserve Senior Chief Logistics Specialist Kay Zhang, DLA Distribution. Senior Chief Petty Officer Kay Zhang distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious service as the Senior Enlisted Advisor in support of Operations Freedom Sentinel and Resolution Support. He led a diverse team that provided armed escort for the removal of 390 truckloads of scrap with 9.5 million pounds of unserviceable materials. Senior Chief Petty Officer Kay Zhang. The DLA Joint Reserve Force Junior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year is Navy Reserve Logistics Specialist, Second Class, Mary Larkin of DLA Distribution. Petty Officer Second Class Mary Larkin distinguished herself by exceptionally meritorious service as DLA Distribution Norfolk's Unit Public Affairs Representative. She flawlessly documented the unit's drill weekend events, annual training exercises and operations, and other major events important to the DLA Norfolk mission. Her efforts in this collateral duty resulted in the creative capturing of several drill weekend activists and in the preparation of the unit storyboard covering 28 days of their annual training in Sigonella, Italy. Petty Officer Second Class Mary Larkin. We will now present Equal Opportunity Awards. These awards recognize the activity and individuals who their personal commitment and dedication meet and exceed the challenges of making our workforce a place where people can work, learn, and grow. Ms. Janice Samuel, Director of DLA Equal Employment Opportunity Office, will participate in presenting these EEO awards. The DLA Outstanding Employee with a Disability is Douglas Hurtado of DLA Distribution. Mr. Hurtado could not be here today, so DLA Distribution Commander Rear Admiral Jones will accept on his behalf. Mr. Douglas Hurtado's drive for excellence made him an invaluable part of DLA Distribution, Anniston, Alabama. In an area where 100% accuracy is required, he maintained high standards throughout the entire year, packing more than 2,200 documents without a single discrepancy report. He's routinely called upon to train new Weapons Division personnel thanks to his attention to detail and skill and knowledge. Mr. Douglas Hurtado. The award for Achievement in EEO by an employee goes to Tania Washington, DLA Troop Support. Ms. Tania Washington has excelled as a career program administrator at the DLA Troop Support Command Support Office. She's mentored more than 30 pacers and interns, ensuring each received the courses and on-the-job training required to perform their duties. Her mentoring and involvement with recruitment resulted in hiring and retaining a diverse workforce under the pacer and intern programs. Ms. Tania Washington. The award for achievement in EEO by a supervisor or manager goes to Theodore Hackney, Jr., DLA Distribution. Mr. Theodore Hackney demonstrated his acute ability to look beyond the surface and work toward decisions based on merit, and always with the best of intent for fair and equitable treatment for all DLA Distribution San Joaquin employees. He's always willing to coach and mentor other supervisors, managers, and employees, offering insight into work areas with room for growth, helping these individuals understand their full potential. Mr. Theodore Hackney. The DLA Award for Achievement in EEO by an organization, Major Subordinate Command category, is awarded to DLA Energy. EEO Director, Mr. Ahmed Burse, is accepting on behalf of the organization. The EEO leadership of DLA Energy has been actively involved in internal and external recruitment and retention initiatives, including the use of direct hire authorities to increase workplace diversity and inclusion, specifically among women and Hispanics. DLA Energy has met or exceeded the national civilian labor workforce standards in 7 out of 12 demographic areas monitored. DLA Energy. The next series of awards recognizes excellence in installation management activities. DLA Headquarters Chief of Staff, Ms. Kristen French, and Mr. Buzz Hackett, Director of DLA Installation Management, will participate in presenting the next several awards. The Family and Morale Welfare and Recreation Facility and Program Excellence Award goes to the Information Tickets and Registration Team from DLA Installation Management in San Joaquin. Ms. Agnes Valerio will accept on behalf of the team. The Information Tickets and Registration Team is recognized for its innovative contributions providing top-notch ITR services for the San Joaquin military community. The team's exemplary performance reflects great credit upon family and MWR performance. The Information Tickets and Registration Team from DLA Installation Management, San Joaquin. The Outstanding Police Activity of the Year belongs to DLA Installation Management at San Joaquin. Chief Khalid Ali will accept on behalf of the department. The DLA Police at San Joaquin serve as the installation's first line of defense against violence and destruction. The police officers have conducted more than 379,000 police functions and activities, despite 20% understaffing. These functions include the check of nearly 344,000 common access cards, resulting in 22 outstanding warrants, 183 entry denials, 388 police reports, and 476 random anti-terrorism measures to heighten security and force protection. DLA Police at San Joaquin. The DLA Fire Department of the Year is DLA Installation Management at Columbus, Ohio. Assistant Chief Paul Alexander is accepting on behalf of the department. And Assistant Chief Alexander is also the DLA Fire Officer of the Year. DLA Columbus Fire and Emergency Services responded to 794 emergency calls, both on base and in support of their mutual aid partners off base. Among them, a 3-alarm apartment fire where crews rescued several families. They trained local first responders on new vehicle technologies and electronic vehicle safety precautions and developed an advanced indoor training area providing realistic training in a controlled environment. The DLA Columbus Fire and Emergency Services and DLA Fire Officer of the Year, Assistant Chief Paul Alexander. So for those of you who are following along in the program, we're going to step out of order just for one moment so Ms. French and Mr. Hackett don't have to sit down and come back up. The award for Safety Professional of the Year goes to Carlton Slater, DLA Distribution. Mr. Slater couldn't be here today, so Rear Admiral Jones will accept on his behalf. Mr. Carlton Slater is charged with the supervision of DLA Distribution San Joaquin's Occupational Safety and Health Program. His expert guidance led his team to complete 541 safety inspections, including 41 annual facility inspections and nearly 250 spot inspections. Mr. Carlton Slater. Yes, sir. The next awards recognize acquisition professionals who have demonstrated the highest degree of proficiency, integrity, and dedication in executing the critical mission of providing acquisition support to our nation's warfighters. Mr. Matthew Beebe, Director of DLA Acquisition, will participate in the presentation of these awards. The award for excellence in acquisition goes to Norman Mitchell, DLA Energy.
Like all energies here. Everybody in energy.
Mr. Norman Mitchell displayed a true commitment to process excellence as the inventory management specialist assigned to the DLA Energy Direct Fuel Delivery Fuels Process Improvement Project. He designed a supply planning process that automates requirements tracking for 75 major purchase requirements, consisting of approximately 7,000 contract line items, vastly improving the efficiency of the requirements validation process. Mr. Norman Mitchell. The Acquisition Support Professional of the Year Team Award is presented to the DLA Energy Jet Fuels Qualification Team. Mr. Marcus Ortman is accepting on behalf of the team. The DLA Energy Jet Fuels Qualification Team is recognized for their support to expand availability of thermally stable aviation turbine fuel, a resource vital to our warfighters, currently supplied by only 2 qualified vendors. The team proactively initiated a detailed request for information to identify supplier interest, production capability, and ability to qualify to provide this niche product, which yielded positive responses from 5 potential suppliers. These efforts represent the first supplier qualification process for this product undertaken in 15 years. The DLA Energy Jet Fuels Qualification Team. Our final award today will recognize the Information Technology Person of the Year as someone who has demonstrated the highest degree of proficiency, integrity, and dedication in providing information technology support to our nation's warfighters. Dr. George Duchek, Director of DLA Information Operations, will participate in the presentation of this award. The Information Technology Person of the Year is Seth Bova for DLA Information Operations. Mr. Seth Bova has displayed exceptional leadership, professionalism, and teamwork as the J6 Business Relationship Manager to the DLA Agency Synchronization and Operations Center. His technical ability and steadfast commitment to ensure IT operations, DLA dashboard capability development, and other IT-related requirements are accurately reported and actioned are crucial to the ASOC's mission of maintaining a holistic and accurate common operational picture for the entire agency.
Hey, this guy takes a lot of heat down at the ASOC. Give him respect around
Mr. Seth Bova. Thank you. Thank you, General Williams. This concludes today's presentation of awards. I'd like to call your attention to the last few pages of your program, which include an extensive list of additional recognitions being presented at the local level throughout DLA. So please join me in a round of applause for all of these deserving DLA team members. Also in your program, you'll find a list of awards and recognitions presented to DLA employees by organizations outside DLA over the past year. We're proud to highlight and recognize these deserving individuals with a round of applause. This annual award ceremony is our great opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of our DLA family. These outstanding men and women exemplify the standard for excellence set by this agency, and we appreciate all they do each and every day. At this time, I would like to ask all award recipients, including members of the award-winning teams, to stand up to be recognized a final time. On behalf of General Williams, thank you for your participation in our DLA 52nd Annual Employee Recognition Ceremony. You're invited to join the awardees at a reception in the Headquarters Cafe, where you'll have the opportunity to thank the award recipients for their contributions and accomplishments. Please rise for the departure of General Williams, followed by award recipients, their family and friends, and senior leaders, and remain in place until your row has been released. Thank you.